Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Corner HVAC. You know, I always say Andy's Corner is that happy little place where we all sit back and talk about all things heating and air. And then sometimes some other stuff. A lot of times other stuff, but mostly heating and air. We try to stay mostly with heating and air. And first off, I want to say thank you to all the people that are subscribed and watch all the videos regularly, do all the comments, thumbs up, and all that stuff. That is awesome. I appreciate that. And then anybody out there that's watching the videos now on this one or any of the other videos that are on the channel, there's a lot of them out there. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit the button. It doesn't take much, but it means a lot to us. So while you're at it, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up if you enjoy the video. And go ahead and hit the bell icon up there at the top. That way you get notifications every time a new video comes out. So now on to what we're actually going to talk about today. I sat around thinking about what I was going to talk about, and I've been talking to a couple of techs, and I've realized that I've said it before, but I've never done a video on it, I don't believe, about making sure that we find the problem, not just fixing the symptom. Because there's all kinds of failures out there that can happen with furnaces, air conditioners, whatever. You know, we're mostly, where I'm at, we're mostly in heating season right now, for the most part. But, you know, there's so many times where a tech goes out there and they say, oh, well, this part's failed, or this has failed, or this, whatever it is. And they replace that part, but then either that part fails again in a couple of years, or maybe that doesn't fix the problem for very long, and all of a sudden something else is out or something else happens, whatever it may be. We have to make sure that we're identifying all the issues, because if we just go out there and fix one problem, well, the same thing happens 2 years later. Well, that homeowner or that client is not going to be happy with you. So the likeliness of them calling you back, or, you know, trusting your advisement when you do come back out and say, well, this part's failed again. Okay, maybe we just got a bad run of parts. Maybe. I don't know. It could happen. But chances are you're just fixing the symptom. You're not actually fixing the issue. You know, the issue itself is what we need to identify. That way we can knock out all those little symptoms that happen. You know, you go to houses and take a furnace, for example. You know, we replace a lot of blower motors. Well, if you replace a blower motor, you know, you go out to a house, blower motor's locked up, something like that, and you replace it. We probably ought to be doing more than just replacing that motor. I mean, once you get everything out and you pull the motor out of the wheel and out of the housing and all that, you probably better make sure the blower wheel is clean. You know, have they been running it on a filter that was way past due for way too long, and you couldn't get enough air to the motor itself? Motor got hot, maybe. Or maybe there's dirt on the built up on the blower wheel itself, giving it a little bit of extra heat on that or a little bit of extra weight on that wheel, you know, straining the motor out. Maybe we ought to be checking static pressure. I'm a big believer, anytime we replace a blower motor, you need to be checking the static pressure. And I know there's a lot of techs out there that do check static pressure like we're supposed to, but I also know there's a lot that don't. Static pressure is a big thing on these systems, and I would like to do another video specifically on static pressure at some point. But that's one thing that we have to do, because a high static pressure is going to destroy or at least shorten the life of any blower motor out there. So, you know, they got high static. Maybe they've got a dirty evaporator coil. Maybe they have poor ductwork. Maybe they have collapsed ductwork. Maybe they have a dirty secondary heat exchanger. I mean, there's all kinds of things that can happen. Maybe they're going through and closing all the registers off in the house. Or they bought those stupid little things. I saw them at Walmart, and I was in there a while back, and they still sell them. I just don't know why. But there's like sheets of white magnetic, like it's a magnet, but it's painted white on one side. So you can cut it to fit. And if you have like a loud return air grill on the wall, you can cut it to fit and slap it over that grill so you don't hear it anymore. Tell me if that is not the stupidest thing you've ever heard. That grill is there for a reason. If the ductwork is too loud, obviously there's a problem. Your static pressure is too high. It's uninsulated metal ductwork. There's something going on making it too loud. Fix the problem. You know, don't just stop the noise, because then you're stopping all the air coming back to you. Either way, that's my rant. Walmart sells some of the stupidest crap out there. And no offense, Walmart, if you want to advertise on my channel, I would probably let you do that, because unfortunately, I'm like every American out there. I have to go to Walmart at some point in time. Either way, you do sell some stupid crap. So that is one of my things there. But yet I digress. Back to the point, you know, make sure that there's not something stupid going on, that this problem is going to happen all over again. I mean, parts for these furnaces or air conditioners, they're not cheap. You know, there is nothing in this world anymore that's cheap. So we want to make sure that we get the right fix the first time, and it lasts. We want it to last as long as that furnace stays around. There are some conditions out there depending on where this system's at. I mean, maybe it's one of those houses that has a little more dirt and dust than some of the other ones. Maybe they're not changing their filters like they're supposed to. Maybe they're using the wrong filters and all this dirt and dust is getting in there. All these things can happen. And these are circumstances that we have to try to overcome. But as a service tech, we need to be talking to the client about, you need to fix this. Otherwise, this is going to happen again. Because, at that point, that may not be the motor's fault when it fails 2 years down the road. You change that blower motor out, but they refuse to change their filters other than once every 2 years when you come and change the blower motor. There's a reason that motor failed. It can only take so much. So, there's so many little things out there that we do that I think we're finding and correcting the symptom, but not the issue itself. And I could list off 1,000,005 different things that we're doing, that we could do out there that it's just symptom, not the actual cause. But if you're a service technician, you understand what they are. And if you're a homeowner, ask the service tech. If somebody comes out to your house and replaces a part, there is nothing wrong whatsoever with asking a service tech why. A lot of techs, that suffer from poor communication skills. And that's I'm not knocking anybody. That's a big thing. I mean, you guys listen to me talk. I mean, my words don't come out right. I'm gonna be honest. I start and stop the camera probably 6 times before I even get a video halfway through. And then usually I stop it and I have to do it again because my communication skills are not always at their prime. But whatever it is, technicians, a lot of times they don't like having a bunch of questions asked, and that's wrong. In my opinion, if you're a service tech, our purpose is to be able to fix the problem, alleviate the issues, offer solutions, and be able to communicate all that to them. Those are all things that service techs have to be capable of doing. So, if you do have a problem with communicating well or getting your words to come out right and say all the right things and all that kind of stuff, just practice, whatever, practice it. But if you are a homeowner, there's absolutely nothing wrong with asking a service tech why. Okay, my gas valve went out. Why? It seems like a pretty simple question. A lot of times service techs, we don't, and I'm the same way. There's a lot of times I don't have a good answer. Somebody asked me today on one that said, why did that happen? I don't know. There's nothing else that is signaling to any kind of cause or anything like that. So, I don't know. Things break. I mean, look at vehicles these days. All these new cars are nice and clean and beautiful and pretty and all this stuff, but things still fail on them. And they are way more expensive vehicles than they were 20, 30, 40 years ago. But, they still break. There's so much technology in them now. There's so many parts and all this kind of stuff. Things do fail. Things do just wear out. But there's a lot of parts in there that a lot of times we can come up with an answer of why if we look hard enough. But that's why I say find the actual problem, the root cause of the issue, not just the symptom. Because if you're just band-aiding symptoms, then you're not fixing the problem and you're going to be back again. So if you're a service tech out there, make sure you're looking at everything. And if you're a homeowner, ask the service technician why. Why is that failed? Be prepared. We may not have a good answer. Some things just happen. It's the way of the world. I mean, sometimes we don't have good answers. But there is nothing wrong with asking if you do have an answer, because a lot of times, a good service technician comes in, well, if they have to replace the blower motor, then they should be checking static pressure. They should be checking the coil itself, the evaporator coil that's in there. They ought to be checking the blower wheel. Most time I say if you change a blower motor, you ought to go ahead and wash the wheel anyways, because most of them are usually a little dirty if they've been in there several years. And they're not using a good filter system. But, homeowners also have to be receptive whenever a service tech says, okay, this is probably why this happened. You need a better filter that allows more air through, but still keeps the dirt and dust out. They make all kinds of awesome high efficiency filters out there. Maybe your ductwork's a little too small. It's undersized here, it's undersized there, this and that, whatever. Homeowners do have to be receptive to that. So if you are a homeowner watching this, be prepared that, the technician may have other things going on than just that motor. That motor is just a symptom to the root cause. So, but as far as technicians, we need to be looking at all that. So that is my tech tip of the day. I've been thinking about that, so I just wanted to get that out there. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, make sure you hit me up in the comments. I love talking to everybody out there and seeing what they think. I mean, if you think the video sucks, tell me, whatever. I've there for a while, I had a couple of those trolls that like just stayed on my comments and be like, oh, you're doing that wrong. And they go into explanation of why I was doing it wrong. And it's like, well, you obviously didn't watch the video because that's not what I said. You're just taking parts of it and putting it back. It's like the media these days. They just take pieces and like stitch it back together into like a fabric of lie, so whatever. But I enjoy the bad comments too, because usually I like to try to come up with a comment of some sorts back. So if you want to tell me the video sucks, hey, whatever, I'm all for it. Be prepared, but I'm all for it. So, anything you got, just let me know. If you are not a subscriber, please subscribe. There's all kinds of videos on the channel. My goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers this year. I'm a couple hundred off. So I need as many as possible. So if you can share the videos or share the channel on any of your social media outlets, there are so many outlets out there these days. Share them out there. And tell your friends about it and tell them this guy's stupid. You can watch the videos and laugh at him. He's got stupid ideas, whatever. I don't care, whatever you like. But just share them out there. Subscribe if you're not already. And anything else, hit me up. Otherwise, thank you and God bless.